January 15th, 2023. A plane flying out of Kathmandu, Nepal, has crashed. This is one of the deadliest plane crashes in Nepal's history. The exact reason for the crash is currently unknown, but authorities have recovered both black boxes containing vital information such as the flight data and cockpit voice recordings. In-flight footage was being broadcasted through Facebook Live, as well as an eyewitness recording from the ground. This evidence may reveal what happened before the plane fatally crashed. The passenger who was streaming prior to landing seemed calm and shows the view outside the aircraft window, revealing the plane was low in altitude, preparing to land. There are no commands being shouted from the working cabin crew, and no passenger appears to be expecting an emergency landing. The aircraft is an ATR-72, and upon approach to the tarmac, the pilot requests to change runways into Pokhara International Airport in Nepal. More details have emerged regarding the new airport, which was inaugurated just 14 days prior and was built through Chinese assistance and support. Despite this, very little is known about the crash or the causes that may have contributed to the nation's worst aviation disaster in the last 3 decades. It will take some time for proper authorities to investigate the crash site and wreckage, conduct an analysis of both recovered black boxes, and come to a decision about how the accident occurred. The forecast was described as calm, and wind was not a contributing factor to the crash. A viral video captured on a smartphone from the ground shows the last minutes before the aircraft crashed into a ravine, approximately 1 mile from Pokhara International Airport, which had just recently opened its doors. In the released video, the nose of the aircraft is shown to be substantially higher than normal, just before the left wing rapidly dips and the plane goes out of sight of the footage, which indicates that this is most likely a stall, according to the experts. If you're able to take a careful look at the path that the aircraft is taking, you will see that the nose of the aircraft is going up, and the reason why the nose is going up is because the speed is decreasing. When this occurs, in most cases, one of the wings will fold down, and the lift will be generated by the wings themselves. When a consequence of this, the lift produced by the aircraft is insufficient to keep it aloft as the airflow decreases, thus the wing descends and the aircraft begins to dive. This led to the fatal collision that occurred. Although we are still in the preliminary phases of investigation, let's overview the information that is now accessible to the public. At 10:32 a.m. local time, Yeti Airline Flight 691 took off from Kathmandu. The twin-engine aircraft was completing the brief 27-minute trip from the capital of Nepal, Kathmandu, to Pokhara, which is located 125 miles to the west. The manifest included 72 souls on board, 4 working crew, and 68 passengers. The majority of the passengers were Nepalese, with 15 foreign nationals included: 5 people from India, 4 people from Russia, 2 people from South Korea, and 1 person from Ireland, Australia, Argentina, and France. Using the data provided by Flight Radar 24, the progress of the relatively short trip is simple to monitor. This involves sudden shifts in both the aircraft's speed and its altitude. There are a number of factors that contribute to Nepal's history record as a very hazardous place for flying, including the country's hilly terrain, stormy weather, and poor visibility. The Yeti Airlines aircraft was traveling a short voyage from Kathmandu, the nation's capital, to Pokhara when, unexpectedly, with less than 60 seconds to landing, it lost touch with the air traffic control tower. In the aftermath, the fatal aircraft accident in Nepal, a search and rescue effort has been activated in the Himalayan nation, which is often cited as one of the world's most hazardous areas for aviation. The incident brings to light the perils of taking to the skies in Nepal. Also, the black boxes data of the aircraft have been handed over to France. This accident is the greatest plane catastrophe to occur in the Himalayan country in the last 3 decades. According to the information provided by the Aviation Safety Network, this incident ranks as the 3rd worst aviation accident in the history of Nepal. The following day of the crash is when both the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder of the ATR-72 were found. The cockpit voice recorder is a device that captures radio broadcasts as well as other sounds that are occurring in the cockpit. These sounds include talks taking place between the pilots, as well as engine noises. More than 80 distinct categories of data, including velocity, altitude, and heading, as well as pilot actions and the operation of critical systems, are recorded by the flight data recorder. One of the worst plane tragedies to ever occur in the mountainous nation of Nepal claimed the souls of 72 persons on board. Since the accident, hundreds of rescue workers participated in an operation to search for and collect victims from a canyon. However, the likelihood of finding any survivors was described as very low, and a crane was utilized to retrieve bodies from the area. However, the search effort for a missing body was called off by the authorities. It was scheduled to resume the following morning. The story describes how the airplane broke apart after it reportedly crashed into a canyon that was around 300 meters deep and located between Pokhara's old airport and its new international airport. A spokeswoman for Kathmandu's Tribhuvan International Airport, who traveled to Pokhara after the incident and confirmed the status of the black boxes as being intact and in excellent condition, said that the state of the black boxes has not changed after the crash. On the other hand, the rescue operation is not yet complete of identifying all of the victims. Nepalese officials began handing over the bodies of those who were killed to family members of the victims. According to reports from the Nepalese army, there was still one individual that had not been located, and the search effort is still on in order to recover the last body. Following the occurrence of this fatal event, the locals were the first people to arrive at the scene after hearing an explosion and witnessing plumes of smoke coming from the crash site. After them came teams of army officials. One of the Nepalese who was there stated that everyone went to the site to see if they could help. According to a former soldier who spoke with AFP, it was difficult to approach closer since the fire was becoming really fierce. Research is still ongoing, and efforts are being put into place to discover the primary occurrence of this deadly incident. Nepal observed a day of national mourning and established a commission to conduct an investigation into the accident and make recommendations to enhance aviation safety. We here on this channel issue our sincerest condolences to the surviving family members. Nepal has received heartfelt condolences from people across the globe.